The following is rated S for spoilers.
And respect the suit. This suit means something. It's not just protecting your body, it's protecting the universe. This suit is a promise to the world that you and you alone will do one thing above all. Finish the mission, no matter the cost. You will never quit. Whatever the galaxy may throw your way, will you please turn that off?
It's just too easy.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Hello and welcome to the Popcorn Hangover. My name is Alex.
My name is Graham.
And today we are talking Lightyear. Just another Pixar movie.
Just another Pixar movie.
Just another Pixar movie. This has been a pretty divisive one, for sure. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it?
I really enjoyed watching this movie. It kind of like threw me back in the seat as if I was like watching like Top Gun Maverick. Like I wanted to be in a jet. Like I wanted to fly after that. Dude, you could send me to space right now. I would have no problem. I feel like I had no problem. That movie was so fun to watch. It was funny. It was cute. It held my attention through the whole time. Like I had no problems like sitting there watching like, that stuff. Like I really just kind of like threw myself into it. And like, you know, growing up seeing like Toy Story and all that kind of felt like a little like full circle moment, excuse me. And it definitely was super fun just to actually watch that. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I also really liked it. I've seen it twice. Both times there were lots of children in my theater that were maybe not old enough to be in a movie theater yet, but you know, I mean, like I had a bunch of screaming children the entire time, but like it still held my attention. It was distracting, but like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you go into a children's movie like this, like you kind of have to expect there to be children at said movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like a lot of people have asked me, you know, how is it? What are your thoughts? And I don't like giving super concrete answers to people because I don't want to like sway their opinions. Like, it was amazing or it was trash. Yeah. So all I would tell people was it was a Pixar movie.
Which it alone speaks for itself.
Yeah,
to some standards. Because some people are going to love it by that answer. Some people are going to be like, yeah, cool, I'm not going to see it by that answer. Right.
Like, I mean, and it ticks all the boxes. You know, you need a box of tissues after the first 15 minutes. If you're an emotional person, like the animation just continuously is growing and becoming even better. Storytelling is on point. Like there are some things I did not like about the story, and we'll talk about. But like at the end of the day, like beat by beat, like it's flawless. I don't know. It's a Pixar movie. There's not a whole lot to go into. Yeah. Lightyear was directed by Angus MacLane, a Pixar veteran. Story by Angus MacLane and screenplay by Jason Headley, starring Chris Evans, Keke Palmer, Peter Sohn, Taika Waititi, Dale Soules, and Uzo Aduba. Released June 17, 2022. Estimated budget of $200 million. So a
animated Pixar film.
Yeah. They spent a pretty penny on it.
Wow. It paid off though.
It did. Opening weekends, estimated numbers domestically are about 50 million, worldwide about 84 million. So, you know, they're doing well for themselves.
They aren't doing too bad. Honestly, after seeing those numbers, like I heard it didn't like take off like opening night. And I didn't really expect it to, but I really thought it would like do a little bit better than it's been doing. But I don't know. I honestly was trying to like think of look at the roster of what it came out against.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing that's interesting. Our theater currently has 3 movies showing. Period.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Lightyear, Jurassic World, and Lightyear. The other interesting thing is Lightyear released Father's Day weekend. So in my head, I thought this was going to be a really good, like a really big movie for Father's Day because I know for my family, like me and my siblings with my dad, to go see this movie.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
But when you look at Top Gun Maverick, I mean, Top Gun is like the most dad movie of all time.
Right.
And you have Jurassic Park, which is
still
throwing back to the 80s and like another classic action dad movie. So I feel like when I did go with my family, the theater was packed. The lobby was packed. Yeah. And there were signs on the doors saying Top Gun Maverick is sold out for all of these showings. And like we went in and there were maybe 20 or so people, but like most of those people I'm assuming went to go see Top Gun. So I'm really curious to see how it did this past weekend.
Yeah.
So I think Pixar was smart in putting it here just because it definitely had a market, but I think Top Gun probably won the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting and good for them. Good for Tom Cruise is making more money,
a lot
than
of money
he's ever needed. But yeah, so yeah, those numbers aren't concerning. It's a Pixar movie. It's going to have legs. One thing I do kind of want to ask, and I don't know, maybe this is more of a topic for later, but like this is the first Pixar movie to release in theaters in years. Do you think that was a good choice? Like, were there other movies like Turning Red, Soul, Luca that you would have do you think would have done better if it had a theatrical release than Lightyear?
I don't know about better. I think out of those you mentioned, I think Soul might have been the only one that I could have seen kind of have more of a takeoff to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have necessarily done better though. I think when the time that those came out was actually perfect with those being streamed releases. I think that actually worked really well for them. I honestly don't know if this would have been, maybe because of the weekend it came out, it might have had a better release, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to take their whole family to a theater a lot of the times. So having a streaming release might have been better, but I think Lightyear did. I think it was pretty smart for them to actually do it. I just don't know if any of the other ones would have held up as well, honestly.
Right. I mean, like you've got you're using an old IP, right? I suppose those other ones are just your own stories. Buzz Lightyear is a name. You go anywhere, you can see a picture of Buzz and Woody, and like it's
And you're kind of talking too, like the nostalgic part of it. I mean, like if you went and saw Buzz Lightyear on Toy Story in theaters, you're gonna want to see it in theaters here. It's
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't know. Just an interesting little side topic. Here's the thing that I think. Here's where I think things get really interesting, and that's with reception. So Rotten Tomatoes has a 76% critic score and 85% audience score.
Okay.
So yeah, solid.
Yeah.
IMDb typically, if you listen to our other episodes, IMDb typically ranks a little higher.
I'd say it's like an 8-7 average.
Maybe, it depends on the movie, but this only has a 5.2 out of 10 rating, which is interesting. And then Letterboxd gave it a 3.4, which I think
that's out of 5 though, right?
Out of 5, yes, which I think is a little higher than normal. I feel like a lot of movies like this rank more around like a 3. But yeah, it's just really weird numbers for this movie because there are a lot of mixed reactions. Which I'm a little bummed that you liked this movie as well, because I was kind of hoping we could have like a debate. I should have found someone did not like this movie.
There's a few things that I definitely picked up on that I was like, wasn't needed, didn't care for.
Let's just get the big one out of the way for me. And I don't know, for me at least, I'm assuming you as well. But the whole Zurg being a future version of Buzz was the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay, I thought that was really dope.
Did you?
I didn't expect that at all.
No, that's what makes it's just, that's not
because that's the thing. That's the thing. Zurg's a robot. Like in the
well, here's the thing though.
It's a toy.
In Toy Story 2 though, there's a whole joke about how Zurg is Buzz's father.
And you heard the kind of time back when he's like,
they made the reference.
He opens up, he's like, Dad? He's like, not close, but no.
I mean, why? I don't know.
I feel like
I thought that was really dumb.
I feel like it was just kind of an easier little tie-in because that's the thing is this movie isn't. I don't know. One thing I didn't do that I've also probably never done for any other movie. I didn't watch the post-credit scenes. I personally have never seen those.
You didn't need to.
I didn't need to. That's what I heard. You kind of mentioned they set up a sequel. Kind of.
It's just Zurg floating through space and then his lights turn on.
Okay, cool. So nothing. Nothing. So I mean, I don't know. That's kind of how I felt like this wouldn't be. I feel like they're not about to reboot the franchise off this. Like we're not going to get a Woody original, literally just Clint Eastwood like cowboy story.
I don't know. I think if this is successful,
well, no, and that's fair. They might, but also like I don't think we'll get like Lightyear 2. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think we could get Woody. Give us Bo Peep, whoever, whatever.
Right.
I just don't think we're going to get Lightyear 2. That's why I'm like, if they set up a sequel, whatever. If not, like this was fun to watch. It was kind of fun to get that idea too of like in the beginning. I feel like they explained it perfectly by like one sentence too, because I remember when this movie was like announced, so many people had the hardest time grasping if this was a real astronaut that had a movie made about him that Andy then bought an action figure of, or if this was a movie that Andy saw as a kid and then went to the store and bought an action figure from, which was correct. And yeah, when they were just like, in 1995 or whatever, Andy saw this in the theater. He loved it. He bought a toy. Like, that's kind of where Buzz joined all the toys. Like, that makes sense. So I kind of like that, how they just
I really don't. I'm trying to hold back because I just
don't hold back.
I get annoyed when people do this, and I don't know. Like, I'm basically going to turn to the person that I'm about to complain about.
Send it.
But you're saying, oh, people understand this. No, they do not, and it's making me livid. And we talked about it last week in our Jurassic Park episode, I think. About how sometimes you just have to think about who this movie was made for. Who was the target audience?
Yeah.
Look, everybody has a podcast, right? Everybody is a film critic, whatever. That's fine. We're part of that problem. That's great.
That's literally in my bio. That's all I am.
Here's the thing. This is a children's movie.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need to nitpick every aspect. I have seen reviews on Letterboxd after I watch it. I always just kind of go through, read what other people thought, kind of help form my opinion. Sometimes, I have thoughts, but I don't know like how to express them. And like, I read it like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So I'm reading through these reviews, and there are some that are positive, and whatever. Others are like, I can't believe Andy would buy this toy.
First off, he got it for his birthday.
Everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
First off, let's wait a month and go look at Hasbro, whoever, and see how much money they made off of selling Buzz Lightyear toys. Children are going to buy these toys.
I'm walking through Target. I'm seeing them all on the shelf right now.
The one thing I will give them, wear a socks, because socks was the standout.
I fell in love with that cat in 2 seconds. Honestly, I remember seeing promotional stuff, and I was like, it's like, I was like, I honestly saw it and I was like, it's trying to be an R2-D2 to Luke. Like, that's how I saw it.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
It was great.
I don't know. I'm gonna take a side detour off my rant really quick. So I watched like the Buzz Lightyear documentary on Disney Plus, and so they were talking about like this movie a little bit, and they talk about how when they created socks, like obviously they kind of knew that he was going to explode. Like, socks was created to sell toys.
Yeah, 100%.
But also like they made this point about how anytime they're in a situation and they didn't know like how to get them out of it or where to go next, like, oh, we'll just use socks, and like socks can do it. Which when I heard that, I was really concerned, 'cause that's really lazy writing. Yeah. But like they did it perfectly. Yeah. Like, it was just every socks moment was
coughed up the blowtorch. I was not expecting. I was like, what the heck?
All of it was just socks was brilliant. And part of that is Peter Sohn's acting. Love socks.
It was incredible.
Anyway, people are like, Andy would never buy this toy. It's ridiculous. There are people who are like, if this is supposed to take place in the 90s, why does it look so beautiful? Shut up. This is a movie that was made in 2022. Yeah. Like, you're thinking about this way. That's nitpicking. And there are reviews that I've seen where they'll say stuff like that, and they're like, now I'm going to nitpick a little bit. No, you've been nitpicking this entire time. Shut up. And people are just like, it's like, this is a ripoff of Interstellar. Like, well, guess what? There are people who still don't understand Interstellar. Yeah. This is a children's movie that explained Interstellar perfectly in like 5 minutes. Let's applaud that. That's fantastic writing. Look, there's not an original thought out there. There's not an original movie out there. Every Marvel movie is the exact same. Yeah.
You're literally watching a movie about a toy.
Right. And that's the other thing too, that people just like, it's all, the most common complaint that I've seen about this movie is, this is not a good movie. There's no way Andy would want this toy afterwards. I can't believe this isn't Toy Story. It's not supposed to be. Right. Like, you just need to acknowledge, like, let's just go look at Pixar's perspective here. They have a very successful IP that, I mean, they peaked at Toy Story 3. They should have ended it, but of course they wanted more money, so they said, let's make Toy Story 4.
Never saw
Total flop. You don't need to. It was awful.
That's fine.
How do we continue to develop these characters that make us billions of dollars every year, that everybody loves and wants to know more of? This was a brilliant idea. Yeah. From a marketing standpoint. It's just accept it. Like, this isn't supposed to be taken literally. Like, people are like, oh, this is an animated movie. Like, there's animated characters that are actually like live action in this world that are in this movie, but they're never credited or talked about. Just stop.
Doesn't matter. Exactly.
You're taking this too seriously. or I think the biggest one for me is the whole Tim Allen versus
Chris
Evans thing.
Yeah.
I think Chris Evans did a fantastic job.
Dude, he was great.
I think most people would agree that he did do good, but they're like, why didn't Tim Allen do it? I don't know about you, but I have had plenty of action figures with like voice activation, and the actual actor does not actually the voice inside the toy because that's a bunch of money and royalties that you have to give to the actors. They just have some random dude that kind of sounds like the person voicing it. It's fine. Why does everybody have to be some angry critic all the time? Like, just enjoy things every once in a while. Movies are meant to be enjoyed. You don't need to destroy everything that you talk about. And I know we've done that a couple of times, but when we do, it's because they are genuinely bad movies. Like,
that is true.
I don't know.
It's not just us saying that when we are saying that.
Yes, and I don't know how much of that made sense because I'm just so annoyed with people. Like, just, and it's not because they disagree with me. It's just like just have fun with movies. Stop ruining it for everybody. People are getting on my nerves with Lightyear. All that to say, I really enjoyed Lightyear.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy Lightyear, don't let people who have negative reviews ruin that for you.
I say that's one thing I just didn't see many reviews, much of it at all. Like, I got a few, I think, I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter of, some things going on. And then other than that, I just didn't even look at it. Nothing came up. I watched the trailers. I was like, cool, I'm sold. Like, yeah, I'll go see this for sure.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I don't really feed into that. Like, I don't care about a lot of that. And honestly, I wish if I did, I would have definitely gone in and seen this movie in a totally different light, and I would have hated it. Probably not have hated it, but I just would have noticed those things. So
right, yeah, I don't know. It's one idea I saw from a negative review that I thought was a good idea. They were disappointed that there was no scene, like they have like 3 post-credit scenes that are kind of pointless.
Right.
They were disappointed that this movie came out on Father's Day. So wouldn't it be cool if like the end was like Andy and his dad having a cool moment after watching the movie, like in the theater? Which I agree that would have been cool, but we're also, I know I said we're taking this too seriously, but like this is supposed to be a movie in this universe, so there shouldn't be a moment where we're seeing the people watching said movie. I don't know.
That's Inception, bro. Just kidding.
That's
a whole nother level of like looking through a mirror, kind of a absolute mind trip, dude.
To wrap this whole little thing up, I think Disney and Pixar kind of screwed up. While I think the concept is brilliant, there's just people just don't understand the concept or how to take it.
Here's the thing, I have in defense of Disney and Pixar, it's not their fault necessarily. Because here's the thing, Disney could come out and say, hey, here's what we did. Here's why we did it. It's not going to change the mind of any person out there probably that has their formed opinion of like, oh, I hated that they did this. Okay, it doesn't matter. They still did it. That movie is in theaters and that movie made $80 million. It doesn't matter what you think. Like that's kind of thing. It's like,
no, I mean, you're right. But I think Disney needs to remember that people are idiots.
That is fair.
Because there's not much else. I don't know. People don't know how to people have their own formed opinions and everyone objectifies everything based off of what their opinion is and like how they view the world, whatever. We're getting real philosophical now. This was just a concept that was, I think was a little too difficult for a general audience to be sold on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that going in. That's why I don't think we will get like a Woody movie or show. Cause I mean, Woody's from a show, right?
Mm-hmm. He had his own show.
So
and Jesse and Bullseye and all that jazz.
Right. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything else like this.
Technically Buzz had his own show, but not in that universe. That's in our universe.
Sure. Yeah.
Cause there was the anime. Yeah. Never mind. Got that all mixed up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. Would you like to see a sequel of Lightyear? No.
I think this is kind of like you're saying. It's a great idea. I think they did it well. Mm-hmm. I think they should leave the. I think it'd be fine if they really did do a Woody version, or they did like some Slinky and the Pig movie, whatever they wanted. Like they could have fun with it. They could easily run with whatever they want to do, like because they can. Here's
a spicy question for you.
Okay.
I didn't notice it either time I watched it, but this movie is not in a lot of countries because there's a gay kiss. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
When was that? Because I never noticed it.
Because that's kind of what I heard on Twitter and a lot of the things is like they were going to remove it and then they weren't, and some people said yes, some people said no, whatever. I didn't even expect Yahoo to see it from. I thought it was going to be more or less of a Star Wars thing where they come back to the plane, everyone's cheering, and you just see it off to the side, and you didn't actually see it. But no, it's the 40th anniversary of their or whatever, because she's like older. She like walks back into the room and she's like, have a good night. She turns around, walks in the room, and you see like the whole family, the granddaughter, and then they like, and it was like quick, like they just walked in the house. Like
both times I was like looking for, and I figured it was in that sequence, but I was like, I never noticed it. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous that I don't know. We
caused
just
so much commotion.
It caused so much like just problems. It's something so quick. Like just get over it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. It's going to happen whether you're going to complain or not.
Right. That's another thing that people have complained about is if this movie came out in the 90s, why is there a gay kiss? People weren't gay on screen in the 90s. I mean,
like not saying anything, but I was sitting there and I was like, in 95, I was like, that would not have been greenlit. Like, again, we're in 2022. It is a different time. 1,000%.
Counter argument to these people who take this too seriously. This isn't another universe, so maybe it's a more
that is true.
It's a more inclusive universe.
That is true.
We don't know.
In Marvel, there was a whole universe. American Chavez.
You know what?
Exactly.
Who cares? Because this is just a movie. Let's just focus on the movie that's in front of us. Let's not get too like.
Not gonna lie, I was still focused on the laser sword. That was kind of like a lightsaber, but wasn't. And I was like,
no, I think
I like that a lot.
There were a lot of really cool like little gadgets and things.
Yeah,
I was having a lot of fun.
It held my attention. I literally felt like a kid watching this. I was just like, dude, that's sick. And then at the end, he whips out those wings, and I was like, oh, which like I forgot he had wings. And like every time
I was
he would,
thinking
like,
about it the entire
crash,
time. Like I was like, where are the wings? Why isn't he like flying away? I thought it was really clever though, because I feel like a lot of, I don't know, remembering back, I feel like a lot of toys are always like the final version of, the character in the movie. Like in Spider-Man, it's always, you never got like, I mean, they had like the black and white suit and everything.
Right.
But like most of the toys for No Way Home were with the gold spider on it and everything, which is at the end. Or for Far From Home, it was always like the suit, the black suit with the white spider back. Like, anyway, like it's always the one at the end. So I thought it was really clever how they slowly showed how he got the iconic late wrist rocket thing. He got the jetpack. I like how they just subtly created the suit.
Yeah.
And also like gave some of the buttons and things like explanations. Like
that was the stealth mode. That was so dope.
And that's just a cool way to do stealth mode when everyone's like invisible. Like,
but you kind of see
like it just shows
an outline of them.
Yeah, where their suit should be. So cool, dude. There were so many great ideas in this movie.
It was so well done.
I would almost, I don't know, go back to more of like a review standpoint. One problem that I have, and this is gonna be an amazing segue. Just you wait. So
I thought it was gonna rock my world.
It's probably not gonna rock your world, but you're gonna be like, wow, what a great segue.
I'm ready.
So one of the things that I loved about this movie was like, the first half hour was brilliant. But once like, I don't know, all the misfits kind of like the gang got formed, I didn't care as much.
Really?
Like, I don't know. I didn't care for any of those characters at all. I don't know. Again, it's a kids movie. That's why I'm not like, this is a half-star rating. This movie's a 2 out of 10. It's a kids movie, so like obviously you need like Taika Waititi to be your comedy relief, and you need like all of this whatever. But yeah, I didn't really care for it. Like I was kind of on board. I would have liked if the movie was just expanded on the first 15 minutes, like of him, doing these missions, and then people growing older, and then like spending more time on the ground where he's trying to deal with that. I don't know. That it would have been a totally different movie, but I would have liked that a little more.
That I could have liked that. A part of me, honestly, I really didn't care too much for the beginning.
Really?
Yeah. Like when
interesting.
A part of me, honestly, every time Buzz was like, I gotta do this myself, I was like, bro, pull your head out of it. Like you just gotta stop. But I think the reason why I hated that's how I am in some ways. So I was just like, it's fine.
A lot of people have said like Buzz is like a 2-dimensional boring character.
Bro, that man had
he's
straight
not.
growth, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he had amazing character development. And again, this was a kids movie, so like, they have to make that stuff very blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you should, as an adult, like understand like where this is
went
going and
wrong,
like what's happening. If you don't, I'm concerned for you. But like, again, this is a children's movie.
Right.
Anyway, to my segue, we're going to take a quick break. But in the next segment, we are going to talk about Pixar and some of their shorts. I think that that first 15 minutes just could have been like a really great short. And I think they could have, I think they should make more shorts. We're going to talk about that next segment. So stay tuned for segment number 2 of our episode about Lightyear.
Dude, I'm so glad we're doing this.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a lot of fun, and it's not as difficult as I thought it would be.
No, not at all. Like Anchor has made it especially easy when it comes to like actually getting our podcast out on the air. Because when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on all the listening platforms. So easy getting it over to Spotify, getting it to Apple, wherever you're trying to get your podcast to.
Yeah, I think we're on like 7 platforms just through Anchor, and not even just the distribution, but even just creating the podcast. Like there's so many recording and editing tools within it, so you can record, edit, add music in, sound effects, all sorts of things directly through Anchor, and it is free.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's incredible. So if you would like to start your own podcast, just like ours, go to anchor.fm on your desktop device, or you can go on to your mobile app store and download the Anchor app. And we are back talking Lightyear, just another Pixar movie.
Just another Pixar movie.
Just another Pixar movie, which, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, so to speak. But I definitely think, Pixar, that's one thing I will say about Pixar is like, they don't go backwards a whole lot. Like, they're always kind of growing a little bit, I feel like, especially in their animation, like.
Oh, for sure.
It just, I really want to see, when this releases digitally or whatever, like I want to see a version of this where they just like take away some of their great technology and they make like a 90s version of it where it looks like Toy Story.
Well, have you seen, I saw it on Twitter or maybe it's Reddit. I saw it somewhere where it was like if the Lightyear trailer came out as like a video game trailer in the 90s and it was straight up like pixelated. It looked so dope. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of a fun little way to look at that.
Yeah, I would love to see a version of this. I mean, I don't know. It probably wouldn't work because this movie is really beautiful.
This movie was insane, dude.
There's a couple shots where I was like, when the turnip wrecks right at the beginning, and it like shows like a bird's eye view, I was like, whoa, that looks like reflection. It was straight out of Bad Batch.
Yeah. Had a very similar feel.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Every little reflection of his helmet when he was wearing it, when it was like, it was literally in his arms. And I remember they were walking out towards the ship, him and Hawthorne were, and you could see like a row of like 8 lights slowly like move. Like, I was just like, I was literally fixated on that. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah. Like watching that documentary, like, one of the things that Angus MacLane was really big on was like even like fingers, like while they were animating it, like if they were going to touch like their head, like they would touch their own like face and like take a picture and like look at how their fingers were adjusted, and like that's how, like those are little things that you're not going to notice, but like it makes the difference.
Bro, 100%
between amateur and Pixar. Graham, what is your favorite Pixar movie, or what are some of your favorite Pixar movies? Because there's a lot of them.
Man,
I should have given you more time to think about this. I know in the past you said that like Cars is a big one for you.
Cars really is. I've always enjoyed that one. I would say that's definitely up there. Is Incredibles Pixar?
Yeah, it's Pixar.
Okay, yeah. That's why I thought. I just don't want to say that and be like, nah. Because the first second I was like, maybe it's not. But I've always been like a big fan of The Incredibles. Even like both of them were great. I loved those movies.
I need to go back and watch Incredibles again. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
That first one was still, way better than the second one.
I didn't care for the second one at all.
No, I really didn't. I didn't too much except for just the fact that it like Dude, at the end of the first one, when the Underminer pulls up, the mole dude, and I was like waiting, and then it was like 15 years later, and I was like, wow. And then it picked right back up, and I was like, yeah, that worked so well for them. Like that was so good. I would definitely say Incredibles is definitely on like a top for me. Cars, really just the first one. I did not care for any of the other ones. I don't think I saw number 2
was awful. I don't think I ever saw.
I didn't care for. Up is always up there. I enjoyed Up.
Up is up.
Up is up. It's the up and up. It was really honest. That's a good one. I don't think anyone will complain on that one just because that one makes you cry.
It does.
Yeah. Incredibles has got the action. Cars has got the cars, and Up has got the
Cars has the cars.
That's my holy Pixar trinity right there.
Okay.
I would say that's my top 3.
So now I feel like I'm pressured to name 3 of them.
You don't have to.
So my number 1 is WALL-E, 100%. I love WALL-E. Why are you giving me that look? Is it because you don't like it?
Did anyone like WALL-E?
You don't like WALL-E?
No.
I love
Oh my
WALL-E.
gosh, I never cared for that. In my entire life, there's never been a point in my entire life where I've sat down and I was like, let's go to the theater and watch WALL-E, or let me just sit down and watch WALL-E. I've seen it.
I
do not care for it.
I love WALL-E. I think I think that is, in my opinion, the first Pixar movie that really took a shift from old animation to like their modern animation. Like I think that was the first one where like I would say, wow, this looks beautiful. We look at Toy Story. There's not a single shot in there where I would say, wow, that's such a pretty shot. I'm gonna like
Toy Story 2
screenshot and like
Toy Story 2 when Homeboy's going through the scene and he's fixing up Woody. And he takes his little Q-tip and he goes over Woody's eye, and he's just
I know.
That's the only one shot I can think of. But yeah, that's
in my opinion, I think WALL-E was the movie where that like marks the shift between that older. It looks old. Yeah. Like I think if you watched WALL-E today, it would stand up, not quite as well with Lightyear, of course, but like I think it still holds its ground. Yeah, I think
that's fair.
It's been a while since I've seen
Cars
WALL-E.
Was beautiful. Driving through Radiator Springs.
Don't get me wrong, Cars is also fantastic.
No, I totally understand though what you mean. I mean, you can. There's the difference between the style.
And again, I haven't seen either of those movies in years, so I did really think about like just doing a whole Pixar binge before this episode, but I figured that would be a little unnecessary. But it is.
I am a fan of Pixar and their movies and like Disney movies. Like I do love them and I enjoy them and they are cute and they're fun.
Do you think it's the nostalgia of them, or do you think that they're just that they hold their own? I think
that's more of it, if anything. Because like a lot of times, like rarely, if any advertisements at all, like I've never like counted down the days, or like I think this is like being Lightyear is the only movie I've been like let's go see that opening night. Like if we can, let's go see that like soon. Let's do a podcast on it. Like I've never been like excited for movies because like I mean Cars, like dude, I was 6 when that came out. There was no chance I was waiting in line opening night. No, like I watched it. I've watched it through the years. I loved it. But like even Inside Out, I remember seeing that one in theater. I didn't care for that. I think my grandma wanted to see it. The whole family went. It was like one of those things where it was like someone was like, "Oh, that looks cute. Let's go see it." We all go see it. I've never had like a major pull in like, "Hey, let's go see it." I think any Pixar movie I've like gone to the theater and seen is just like a family event kind of a thing.
Interesting. Okay.
I've just never like personally been like I said, except for Lightyear, which might just be the whole nostalgic like Toy Story pullback. It's Buzz, dude.
Yeah.
Plus they go to space.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely big sci-fi action adventure fans. So yeah, I can definitely see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them. Like, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I think if they weren't animated, if the people who wrote Pixar movies.
Like IRL?
Yeah, I think if just stick with me here. I think you're going in a different direction than where I'm taking us.
All right, what are you thinking?
I think if Pixar, like people who wrote Pixar and everything, people in charge of all the story and everything, I think if they instead of making an animated movie, made a live action movie, I think it would do quote unquote better. I think people would like it more, not for the nostalgia, but because it's a good movie. But I feel like there's this weird. It's not weird. I think there's a bad stigma when something is animated. It is automatically given this is a kid's movie or this is going to be bad. Whatever. It's hardly ever positive.
See, I don't think I've ever looked at it. I do understand where you're coming from with that.
And I'm not saying us specifically.
Right.
I think
just a general aspect,
general audience.
That's fair. I've kind of always understood, like, seen it. I always kind of thought like most people would see it as. I guess I'm more looking along the lines of like the perks for it being an animated movie is like you're most likely gonna have a more like kid friendly, family friendly movie, but you also have the ability to pretty much do whatever. And I know now in today's time, CGI will do whatever you can do whatever you want.
I mean,
but I feel like that's more an easier way.
Marvel movies are basically animated movies.
Oh, 100% with the amount of special effects and CGI. Yeah, it's one. Yeah, for sure. But no, I definitely
Yeah, I don't know.
I get what you mean.
That was just a weird little thought.
It makes sense though.
Yeah.
I definitely would love to see some of these movies live action.
I mean, I'm not saying we need to see them live action. I just think that,
dude, I want to see 50,000 balloons tied to a house. Make that happen.
That would be very entertaining to see for sure. I don't know. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, Pixar's animation style, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm no expert. I don't know. We should have brought someone in who like does animation or something. That probably would have been a lot more beneficial. People. Yeah, I'm thinking of someone in particular who would have been perfect. I think we're probably thinking the same person.
Yeah. Would have been great.
But yeah, like I don't know a whole lot of history ever, so I'm going to admit that I'm probably going to say something that someone's going to scream at me and be like, "Wow, you're an idiot." But like I don't know. I feel like Pixar really changed the game in terms of animation. Like. And just in general, like Toy Story was mind blowing. Like, that's the first time CG animation had been really done on that really scale in that way. Yeah, because they'd always done shorts and things, but nothing features were done like that.
Right.
And I mean, Toy Story 2 is a perfect example of why it wasn't, because that movie was almost erased. I think everyone knows that story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think,
dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost didn't have Toy Story 2, which wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, I don't know, Pixar is known for their animation. I think they're, especially with this movie, like, and the movies, the last couple of years have been just beautiful to watch and to, like, just to look at. But I do think, like, their storytelling is what sets Pixar apart. I think that's why they have been so successful. I mean, at this point, they're all essentially the same. But just the story, like I said in the beginning of this episode, like Lightyear, despite it has things I don't like, and there's a lot of things that other people don't like, but at the end of the day, if you look at it beat by beat and you look at the story just in a grand scheme of things, like it's flawless. Like there's nothing you can really say that was done poorly in terms of the story or the way it looks. Like I think those are the two things that Pixar just has nailed.
Yeah. And they nail it in every movie. I mean, the formula they use works so well.
Right. And I think that's why movies like Toy Story still hold up today. Like if you look at it, it looks really bad, to be honest. Like, and compared to a Lightyear.
Yeah.
But it's
compared to Lightyear.
But it's amazing because like the story is timeless and it's perfect. Like everyone can relate to feeling like Woody and like, feeling an outcast and whatever. Like, and that's the other thing is like they always.
But I never got that. I always felt like Buzz straight out of that box.
I mean, there's all people who do feel like Buzz, like, oh, I can fly, self-identity. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Pixar does a really good job at like actually making movies that matter, like with messages that matter, I should say.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, if you look at their roster, Pixar seems to make two types of movies. You have your action, adventure, funny movies like Lightyear, Cars, Onward is another recent one.
I forgot about that. That was good.
Yeah, Onward. I don't know. I never actually gave my 3. I think WALL-E's number 1. Onward is in my top 3. I don't know. Yeah. And then I would probably put Toy Story 3 up there too.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. I don't know. That's just a really quick off the cuff list.
One.
I don't know.
I can remember that.
Incredibles should also probably be up there. I don't know. There's just it's too hard to
top
decide.
5. Go. No, top 5.
Okay. Anyway, but like I don't know. Those are like some movies where yes, they have like meaningful messages, but the whole point behind it is it's just big. It's just a fun adventure action thing.
Yeah.
And then you have another aspect that's more like a deep personal emotional level, like Inside Out or Turning Red.
I never saw Turning Red.
Here's my thing with Turning Red. I never saw it. I also haven't seen it yet. And I had no intentions of seeing it. But I feel like I have to now because every person that I've talked to personally has said the movie is either awful or not great. Like I haven't talked to someone personally and that's given me a good review.
Yeah.
But I feel like the general consensus online is that it's like Pixar's best movie. I don't know. That's just
really
that's just like from my perspective. I feel like general consensus is like it's top tier Pixar, and people I know personally are like, no, it's awful.
See, I've only ever like personally, like word of mouth, like don't waste your time. Yeah. It's not worth seeing.
But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's all about puberty and like that kind of thing, and it's very different for Pixar, and people don't want to. I don't know.
People aren't trying to sit through that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I need to see it to actually have my own opinion on it.
That's fair.
But you have, things like Turning Red, Inside Out. I think, I don't know, I'm going to ask this question anyway, but I think I know the answer.
Turning Inside Out. Turning Red, Inside Out. Something like that.
Yeah, I should have done that the other way around because it kind of works as a sentence. Anyway, I think I already know the answer to this question. I'm going to ask it anyway. Which do you prefer? Like the more deep personal thing, like side of things, or like just the straight action adventure? Let's have a good time.
Action adventure. Yeah.
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with the deep. Like Inside Out was incredible. I do remember seeing that one and was like, it was funny. It was fun to watch. It was what was his name? Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. Yeah.
Bing Bong, dude.
I think
that hit hard, but like.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's the one time where people are like, man, like this movie was so sad that I didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe at the time I was like, I would have been, I don't know, my late teens probably. So I was probably thinking
15,
like
16, 26. Yeah.
So I was probably just like, oh, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I'm too old for this. So I feel like maybe I just had
I'm not crying at this.
Personal stigma to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Beginning of Lightyear, I didn't cry, but it made me emotional. Like that, like he's just watching his friend like grow up and have this great life.
Bro, dude, that hologram.
And then she came back and was like, this is my best friend. Like, you take care of him. And it was like,
honestly, I was kind of over at that point. Like, that was more there for like Buzz and like Buzz's sake. Yeah. But dude, that first one, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was tough. Like, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of the same way. I never really gravitated towards, I haven't seen Turning Red. Inside Out, I would not rank as highly as other people. Just, I don't know. I need to see all these again, basically, is a theme for this episode.
Just make a Pixar supercut. That doesn't really work, but.
Well, have you seen the Pixar Theory?
Oh yeah, everything's 100% connected.
Everything's connected.
Oh yeah, everything's connected.
I don't know, I feel like for people who are like into the Pixar Theory, I feel like this is like a breath of fresh air because they don't actually have to think too hard about it. Like
because it is connected.
It just straight up tells you how it's connected to the greater universe.
That's funny.
But I feel like someone's gonna go in and be like, no, like this is actually like super meta and it did actually happen in real life. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Pixar Theory is fun just because it's completely outrageous, but like. Some of it does actually kind of make sense. Anyway, I don't know. I never gravitated towards deep emotional kind of personal thing. I definitely like. My top three, like Onward is honestly Onward might be.
But do you think Onward, like in really any Pixar movie? Because I'm really trying to think of it. Like if I take Cars, like Incredibles, I can't think of that emotional moment in Incredibles,
Incredibles all about like family, like
right, but there's not like a.
I think Incredibles, it's a flip. I think the emotional moment is when they all four like finally come together, and fight all the robots. I think that's like the emotional moment.
Yeah, instead of Mr. He works alone, he's working with family, kind of a thing, or like
like that's kind of the whole premise. It's all about family.
But then I'm thinking like Cars had like a. More like self-meaning of, hey, like, let's not be Mr. like cocky race car, like help out, come back to the small town, fall in love with your girl. Like,
Cars was kind of the reverse of Lightyear. Like Cars was all about, hey, like you should be a team player sometimes.
Yeah.
And in the sense that like you should like want to help people.
Yeah.
And Lightyear has the same kind of theme of you should be a team player, but and like the mindset of you should let other people help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
It's
a whole other Pixar theory.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that's one thing I do enjoy about Pixar because they can, whether it's action and adventure or it is like, because they have emotional and then they do have deep emotional, but every movie's gonna.
I mean, yeah,
pull
they
at the
all have
heartstrings
meaningful
and-
messages, but I think, with Inside Out, like, yes, there's an adventure and everything, but that's not really.
It literally is about your emotions. I mean, it's
Right. Or
literally.
even, I think, like, Soul is one that I would put in that category.
And that emotional, for sure.
Where it's, yes, there is this big adventure and thing that's going on, but it's really tackling, like, philosophy.
Part of me kind of feels about, like, that's kind of how I see Onward, too, in some ways. Like, you're going to have your adventure.
But I think adventure, if you think Onward, like, if you think Inside Out, the first thing I think is, like,
The emotions.
the emotions. When I think Onward, the first thing I think of is the
Chris
adventure.
Pratt. The adventure, yeah.
And, I mean,
Love that man. Yeah.
Chris Pratt's also great.
He's fantastic.
But yeah, I don't know. That's
fair. That's fair.
Here's a question that I had after I watched the first movie, and I thought about like making it the whole episode about this, but I didn't think we would have enough time.
Okay.
I didn't think it would fill enough time, which is ironic because of what the question is. Pixar got its start, and I think is partially known like for its shorts. Which, side note, I think it was the first Pixar movie like the recent theaters that didn't have a short at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot that's like their thing.
it is their thing, and there.
Well, they kind of made up for it with the 3 post credits. I mean, I'm just kidding. They didn't make up for anything with that.
I
But
guess, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that wasn't a thing. Anyway, that's kind of like their thing. Like, I don't know if we're going off, but like if Marvel's thing is like post credits, like Pixar's thing is like
before
is
movie.
pre-shorts and things. Yeah. Anyway, do you think that Pixar should make more shorts, or even they should just stick to shorts? Because, and kind of the thought process behind this, the thing that everyone's talking about with Lightyear, from what I've seen, I think the thing that everyone loves about Lightyear most is the first 15 minutes, which works brilliantly as a short.
Yeah.
If you look at Up, nobody talks about, Kevin and like the weird venture dude shooting people down. No one talks about that. They talk about the first 15 minutes where the greatest love story of all time happens. And you bawl your eyes out at the end. Like, there's so many movies of Pixar's where everyone talks about like this one moment, and all of those moments would work brilliantly as a self-contained short. And you would need to change a couple things to make it a full story. But do you think that Pixar should make more shorts, or they should like take a break from movies and like just make
I kind of like
really
the
great
mix
short?
that they have.
Yeah.
Like, I like this mix. Not gonna lie, I can't remember a single short. The only short that has ever stuck with me, I don't know why. You see the dumpling one?
Yes.
Yeah. Where she eats it. That's the only short that like comes to mind.
I think I had like, maybe it was special features. I had like a movie where it's just a bunch of their shorts. I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of them. Like,
I've seen that like on Disney Plus and stuff. Yeah, you can just watch like a run of the shorts.
They're really good.
They are. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I think kind of in the same idea of like how they always have like that perfect 15-minute short. They also have a great movie too. Like,
well, and here's the other aspect of it too, though, is like, I think a lot of their shorts are under 5 minutes, and that's just a random ballpark. But if they made longer form shorts that were 15 minutes, that's still a short.
Yeah.
Or even if they did like a 30-minute
like an episode style.
Do you think that would be more successful? Because in my opinion, I think Pixar has not, like, if you look at like top tier Pixar, in the last couple of years, we have not gotten anything close to that.
That's fair.
I enjoyed Onward a lot more than I think most people did, but I wouldn't consider that like up there with Toy Story.
That didn't have a theater
even though I did say earlier it was my top 3. It's my top 3 favorites, but objectively, it's not. It's not up there with Toy Story.
For sure.
Soul, I think I was a little disappointed by it because I thought it was going to be more about jazz, and instead it was the same thing I've seen a million times. Turning Red I never saw. Luca was really good. I did like Luca, but again, it's not like...
Didn't care about anything else.
Again, it's not up there. And is that an issue with just Pixar? I mean, again, the title of the episode, is it just they just keep making the same kind of movie over and over again? Or is that because they are diminishing in quality? Because in the past, they've made one movie every few years.
Yeah.
in the past 2 years, they've made 5, 6.
Yeah.
Do you think that they are diminishing with how much they're producing, or?
I think with the rise and the now usable interface of Disney Plus, I could see shorts being a thing that just was that just took off, that people love, because they're already there, they already exist, and you could throw so many more new ones in. You could bring all that. I mean, they could literally just they could do a whole slew of like Toy Story shorts, of Cars shorts. They could bring back these characters with new shorts we've never seen. Throw that on Disney Plus, boom, it's great.
Yeah.
But
I think the problem though too is like with marketing, because I know there's like a bajillion Toy Story shorts that I've never seen. I've seen like advertisements for them. Yeah, there's like Halloween specials and Christmas specials that they like would put on.
Yeah, but those weren't this like those were more like episodes, right? Because those had like,
I haven't seen them, but
I could kind of recall like a Halloween one. Was it Toy Story? It was something, and it was like a short, but I'm pretty sure it was like a 30-minute slot on Disney Channel. It had that full time frame. Like it was an episode in itself, like a special.
I not a short. Did that, I wouldn't want like old IPs necessarily. Like I would want more of like Up. Like it's literally just the greatest love story of all time in 15 minutes. Like, oh great. Like
the dumpling
right at the end. Yeah, like the dumpling thing. For sure. Like something like that. Or I mean, the first 15 minutes is, I mean, when we say this is like Interstellar, the first 15 minutes in particular are exactly like Interstellar. Like making that into a short and finding, making a more solid ending. I mean, that ends kind of ambiguously, but like give it a better ending. And I think that could have worked. I think it would have been an amazing short to do. I don't know.
I think the difference too that could honestly just might, at least how I see it, it's not like the answer to that question necessarily, but like you have the dumpling. It is great. Everyone can recall that. Everyone's seen that. It was weird. It was funny. It was cute. It was sad. Hit all the marks of a Pixar film movie. But you have that, and then you also have your WALL-E. You have your Toy Story. You have your... It doesn't line up. It's not the same. There are some movies that it can be better than, but I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. Is like the shorts are shorts, and they work well as shorts. And I'm saying there are parts of these movies that can work as shorts, but I feel like the movies are movies. Like the movies...
That's true.
I feel like would work the best as movies. Or, here's the thing. Imagine if they took Up. Imagine Up never existed, and they just took that 15-minute clip of them falling in love. We would hear about it for the end of life. Where's their story? Why do we have their movie? Where's their movie? How did she die? What life did they live? Like, let's give it that movie.
Well,
like, if anything, it would just open up more doors. To
if you took that story, because that story, that one in particular has a defined ending of Ellie dies and then Carl goes on to do whatever. Yeah, I don't think in that scenario there would have been, because that's the thing, they are in movies, so the ending is left ambiguously, because if it worked, just if you took what was there and you cut it into a short, it would have a terrible ending because it's not the ending. But I think what I'm saying is, if this was made a short, obviously you would have to change some things, give it a more clear beginning, and then give it a more defined ending. It would work better. But also, I mean, I'll just say up front, like, the obvious answer to my question is no. Like, they shouldn't do that. But like, it's more of a talking point kind of question. But like,
which not gonna lie, it's fun to think about,
because, and I also wonder, like, let's say Up never existed, but that section that did exist as a short. Like you said, there are iconic shorts that they have done that you don't remember, you never saw because it's a short, whatever. Yeah. If they just released a short, like, even though it is one of the best things ever created, I wonder if because of the format, it wouldn't be seen by anyone. It wouldn't be as famous as everyone, as it is now, you know?
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, Pixar has to keep making movies because their shorts are too good. And the only way people will watch them is if they put it into a movie. That's just a little diversion there.
Good conversation. I like that question, honestly. That was really a good way to think about things, but definitely different take on that, for sure. Any
final thoughts on Lightyear?
It was great, honestly. Yeah. I will. This is a movie I'll probably. This is a weird way of ranking things.
Okay.
After movies, if I walk out of that theater knowing that I would buy it when it comes out digitally, it's a good movie. Like I would spend my money on this. I would buy this on iTunes. This will sit on my Apple TV. Same thing with Maverick.
Yeah. I saw this a couple times and I was happy to. Yeah. I also really enjoyed Lightyear. I think everyone should go check it out. And if you like it and other people don't, then who cares? You like it.
Yeah. That's your opinion. Hold on to that. Unless it's wrong.
Unless it's wrong. This has been the Popcorn Hangover. We've been talking Lightyear. Go check out all of the things, Instagram, TikTok, our Patreon, patreon.com/popcornhangover, and DM us. Let us know what your thoughts were and maybe even suggest future episodes. I've been doing that on Instagram with a couple people. We got some cool things coming up.
Yeah.
So like, follow, subscribe, all the things. We'll see you next time.
Peace.